Three sets of 12 reps is the most overused and overrated combination of sets and reps in the fitness industry, especially compared to other options. If you've ever looked at someone's training plan on TikTok, or maybe you've even bought a plan, you've probably been told to do three sets of 12 reps before. Often, three sets of 12 reps is rigid and awkward, and people should be open to other combinations of sets and reps. Let's start with three sets. The clearest issue is overtraining for beginners. As a beginner, you are likely to experience the most muscle growth by training a muscle group around 10 sets a week. Let's say you are doing a push-pull leg split, and for each push day you do three chest exercises. A flat pressing movement like a bench press, an incline pressing movement like an incline dumbbell bench press, and a fly movement like a pec deck. If you are doing three sets for each movement, you will likely overtrain as a beginner, stunting your muscle growth and recovery speed. You'll know you're overtraining if you aren't progressing each week by either adding more weights or adding more reps. While this volume is probably manageable for even intermediate lifters, people on social media will still blindly recommend three sets for three movements twice a week, even for beginners. The second biggest problem is junk volume. Here's another scenario. If you take the first two sets of a movement to failure and you feel really pumped, but you also feel fairly fatigued, there is no need for a third set. At that point, you got every ounce of muscle growth from that movement, and a third set would be junk volume. It is human nature to do a third set thinking that it will result in more muscle growth, when, in reality, it will likely result in the same amount of growth, maybe even less, but only tax your body more. In fact, psychologists have coined this term as action bias, preferring action over inaction even when the result is the same. What can you do instead? Mike Mentzer would say one set per muscle group, and Rich Piana would say 10. They're likely both wrong. To get the most out of each workout, each set, and each rep, you have to adjust your program to bias exercises that feel better and skip exercises that feel worse. For instance, you're doing chest flies, but maybe it's hurting your shoulder and you can't even feel it in your chest. You should skip flies and do more volume in other pec movements, even if it's not following your program. Of course, to track your progress, you shouldn't deviate too far from your plan, especially your compound movements. On the other hand, if you're really loving a movement and you know that you can still get something from doing extra volume, do the extra sets and cut volume from a different exercise. Note that you can't simply add volume without any consequences. Adding volume for one movement will decrease your strength for other movements and vice versa. Next, let's talk about 12 reps. Training in an 8 to 12 rep range emphasizes muscle hypertrophy, and training in a 1 to 3 rep range emphasizes strength. More beginner lifters should include a variety of low, medium, and high rep ranges in their program, not just 12 reps. More advanced lifters will specialize their training to what suits them best: hypertrophy, strength, or both. If you do 12 reps for a movement every time you train it, training to failure will become awkward. Let's say you do 12 reps in one set when in reality you achieve muscular failure at rep 16 or 17. Then, the set hasn't done much to stimulate muscle growth. Even if you reach failure at rep 12, next week, if you attempt to increase the weight on a movement, it's almost impossible for you to do the same 12 reps with the same quality, and if you can, it's likely you were lying to yourself about hitting failure last week. Additionally, if you are taking every set to failure, or at least 1 to 2 reps shy, 3 sets of 12 reps with the same weight is impossible during the same lift. As you do more sets, you will be able to move less weight simply due to CNS fatigue and muscle weariness. That's also why, for tracking your progress, you should write the reps and weight you got for your first set. There is no perfect alternative to 3 sets of 12 reps. Your training program should be fluid, not a strict, boring schedule that you have to follow. Change the number of sets you do, experiment with different rep ranges. Enjoy your lifting journey, and subscribe.